All right. Well, we're going to switch leagues. That was we all made our American League picks. We'll come back to it later to decide who's going to get the ALCS and that kind of thing. But let's switch over to the senior circuit and go to the National League. And why don't we go around the other way this time? Start with Alex. Alex, your National League playoff teams.
I got the Giants winning the West, and I think overall the closest league race they've ever had. The Giants win by 1 game, the top seed, and just by 1 game.
The top seed.
The top seed.
Wow.
And just as a little bit of an info, they win the top seed. The Marlins get second, and they win the East by 1 game. The Cardinals are 1 game behind the Marlins, but win their division and get third. The Phillies are 2 games back of the Marlins, but be in the division and get the top wild card. And then I have a tie again for my second wild card spot. The team that's going to, I think, just be able to come out of nowhere and nobody's looking at them. And I honestly think the Los Angeles Dodgers are going to be a team that is going to surprise people with the way they're going to hit, with the way that Kershaw is going to come out. And Kershaw is just going to be proving again why he deserves to be a wild card. But I have them tying the Nationals for the second wild card spot and another play-in game. The Dodgers win this one. So I got Marlins, Cardinals, Giants, Phillies, Dodgers as my 5 playoff teams.
Wow. All right, cool. Ben?
All right, coming out of the East, it's a pretty easy one. I'm saying the Phillies. They should win by, I think, at least 5 games. Last year, they won by 13. So in the Central, I'm having a really tough time between the Brewers and the Cardinals, but I do think the Cardinals are going to take it, even though the Brewers won it last year. And then the West, I think also it's going to be really close between the Diamondbacks and the Giants, but I'm taking the Giants. And so then I suppose that works out well. My 2 wildcard teams are going to be the Brewers and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, let me just say before we move on to you, Dave, is that, Alex mentioned the Giants winning by, what did you say, the division by a game, or was that just best team?
They won the National League first seed by a game.
Okay, because I did see on Baseball Prospectus, by the way, if anyone's interested in that, the Giants are picked to win the division by 2 games. Baseball Prospectus. Dave?
All right. So I'm going to pick, in the NL East, I'll pick the Phillies. I think they'll be the dominant team, but I don't think they'll win 100 games this year. NL Central, I'm going to pick the Cardinals. I think this year they'll be the better team. NL West, I'm going to go with the Giants. I think they'll rebound from last year. And my 2 NL wildcard predictions, I feel, will be the Miami Marlins. And I'll give Arizona Diamondbacks the other slot for the wildcard.
Okay, cool. All right, so Giants and Diamondbacks both make it. All right, great. Well, for my National League then, I am going to pick, I guess we'll start in the East. I will go with the Phillies as my Eastern Division champions again, but like I said in an earlier show, the gap's closing, but I think they still got the best pitching in that division overall, so they'll still win the Eastern Division. Central, I mentioned earlier that it could be a time of change in the Central Division, and I think that change happens now. I'm picking the Cincinnati Reds to rebound and win the National League Central. Western Division, I'm going with the Diamondbacks, but I do have the Giants as one of the wild card teams. So I got the Giants as wild card. My second wild card is the Miami Marlins. So I got Giants and Marlins as which, and hopefully the Giants can turn around that luck of facing the Marlins in the playoffs. Let me just say that right off the bat. But yeah, Phillies, Reds, Diamondbacks, Giants, Marlins are my National League team.
So let me get this right. 2 of you picked a team that went 72-90 last year to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's the Marlins.
Yeah, well,
Or to
I mean,
3.
I think
I
go
picked
ahead,
them to
Alex.
win their division.
That's 3. Wow.
There you go.
Not me.
That much of a difference, though. The people they have in their rotation, the people that they added, the people that they added to their lineup, their ballpark, a hitter's paradise is what I hear for their righties in Stanton and Ramirez. They are both loving that place so far, and I don't see any reason why not.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not sold on that rotation. Josh Johnson, if he didn't have the injury problems, would be a dominant #1 starter, and then the rest of the rotation.
Burley? Zambrano?
Wait, you're questioning Mark Burley.
Well,
First of all, let me just say.
I'm not saying I'm questioning him, but as a dominant #2, I'm not sure I'd put him
But here's
there,
the
and
thing,
Zambrano might be more of a liability than
Okay, but here's the thing. You
anything.
mentioned him being a #2. He was a #1 in Chicago for years. He was the ace
Right.
of that rotation, right? He pitched, okay, there's 1 game, but he has pitched a perfect game.
But he's switching leagues. And
But when you switch, usually the advantage is for the pitcher.
When you switch
Sometimes.
AL to NL, the
Sometimes
advantage
you get better.
will
Not always.
normally go to the pitcher because you don't have to deal with a lineup entirely of hitters.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right.
And you don't have to deal with a team that's built around hitting.
I mean, this team already had pretty. I mean, they slipped up obviously because Josh Johnson was hurt last year, and that really affected them. But everyone, Dave mentioned in the NL preview about the Giants mainly getting their 2 top guys back, which makes them better. Josh Johnson being healthy, and so far he looks ready to go. That makes the Marlins much better as it is.
No, but he's
For them to-
always an injury risk.
But so is everybody.
So everyone's a
Well,
injury
no,
risk.
Josh Johnson has a history of injuries.
True. Okay, no,
But
that is
so
an
then,
excellent point.
what does Ryan Howard or Chase Utley bring to the table? Utley's not going to play for a month at least. Howard's not going to play for half the year. That's why I have the Marlins winning this division. Everybody's healthy. They got a ton of momentum going into the year. Going in, they look like they're a team that has enough glue so far.
Everything.
Well,
The Marlins are not even in the same category with the Phillies.
But who do the Phillies have right now
wait,
that
wait,
that could make
Hold
them a
on.
contender? They have the pitching. They can't even hit in their own hitter's ballpark right now.
Okay, well, let me just say, sorry, let me just say, in terms of being in the same league as the Phillies, okay, pitching-wise, I agree with you. Okay, but lineup-wise,
The Marlins are better.
the Marlins are better. Thank you. They've added Jose Reyes, who's going to be good at the top. They've got Hanley Ramirez now playing third, if he agrees to it, which it looks like he will. He's going to be fine at third base. He can have a comeback. Reyes leading off. They still got, they could have gone after Fielder or Pujols, but they've already got a good player at first in Gabby Sanchez. They got Mike Stanton. This lineup is younger and ready to strike. I mentioned it earlier. The Phillies lineup is getting older. They are still a very good team.
and wiser.
Well, okay, but in
Well,
terms,
Weiser-
but in terms of pitching, I'm going to learn Dave in a second here. In terms of pitching, yes, the Phillies are the better team. That's why I still have them winning the Eastern Division. But I think the Marlins have enough with what they added to be a playoff team this year. Dave?
And you got, they're moving into a new stadium, and teams that move into new stadiums usually it's like a 10-game effect. They usually win at least 10 more games, and I think Miami's going to really do well. Last year they struggled at home. I don't see that happening this year. For them, it's just winning on the road and staying healthy. And the Phillies, like you said, 5 times champions. It's like it's time to move to the new. And I think Miami is that new, fresh team.
So wait,
and
do you
this is
have
the
them
year they
winning the
could
East or the
capitalize
wild
it.
card, the Marlins?
I still got them winning the wild card, but
Okay.
that doesn't mean it's going to be pretty much a close race between the Phillies and the Marlins.
Okay, now let me ask you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I have
Scott.
one quick thing to what you said. The only player that's ever gotten better as he's gotten older and wiser, as you said, is Jamie Moyer, who's pitching into his late 40s.
That is
Just
certainly
as a-
not the
Well,
case.
older and wiser. I mean, yeah. If you want to talk older and better.
Talk about he's still around.
He's 49 and the dude's still pitching like
Yeah.
it's nobody's business.
Oh, it's incredible. But let me ask you this. None of us, we've heard all offseason about the Nationals. Yeah, the Nationals, they got Strasburg. It looks like he's being the #1 starter. They got Gio Gonzalez from the A's. They have a pretty good-looking team coming in. Why is no one picking the Nationals to be a possible playoff? Well, Alex is the
I
only
picked
one.
them as a tie for the second wild card spot with the Dodgers, and I think that they have enough to be a competitive team. If they can get some good hitting done from Zimmerman, if Harper
Just
comes
signed
up
a
and
new
makes
deal.
exactly, so he won't have the where am I going next year stuff
Right.
going on around him. If he comes out and he produces, and if Harper can come up some point soon and produce, this team is going to be legitimate, and that's why I have them.
Wouldn't
right
it
on the
be
edge.
too surprising if the Marlins and the Nationals got off to a hot start and the Phillies struggled? But I think in time throughout the season, veteran leadership comes in, and then younger teams usually fade out past the All-Star.
I just don't think the Nationals are quite there yet. They're ready. They're going to be a force in the next couple of years. But I think
Their
they're
due date
still,
is later.
Strasburg still has to mature and be ready, and learn the hitters and be ready to go. They're lying. Jason Worth has got to rebound if they're going to have any chance. He's got to rebound from that horrible year he had last year.
Absolutely.
But I think they're close. I think the Marlins are a little closer right now than the Nationals.
But I can see Jason Worth rebounding in that way, and you throw Zimmerman, Worth, and Harper in there as
Yeah.
your 3, 4, 5.
But that's another question: is what are you going to get out of Bryce Harper?
If you bring them up at all, that's.
And let me
they're-
just
You
say,
guys might be forgetting about Mike Morse.
Well, yes,
Well,
but again,
right, good
with
point.
their lineup as it is now, they're a deadly team. Especially
Yeah.
if they're going to play Philly at Philly, a lineup that has Zimmerman, Worth, Morse, and Harper going up against Roy Halladay in one inning with all 4 guys hitting well. look out.
Now, I'll say I don't think we're going to see much of Harper this year, but I do think that the Nationals have the capability to contend for the wild card.
Even without him.
Apparently, they're also going to cut Strasburg at 160 innings, so we probably won't see him in all of September, which would certainly hurt their
they're
chances.
going to keep him more limited early in the year and just spread it out more instead of just stopping him at. And I don't think they're going
From
to
what I hear, they're not going to do that, though.
No, I don't think they want him to be pushing it too much, is what I've heard. In that they still, because if they're in the middle of a pennant race, you better believe that he's not even going to give up his starting spot at whatever amount of pitches he's at.
He's going to want to pitch. He's going to want to pitch.
It's not his call, though.
It doesn't matter what it's his call. If the manager wants him to pitch, he'll pitch.
That's right. It's up to the
Right.
manager.
But, okay, well, let me ask, before we move on here, let me ask Alex one quick question about the East. And Alex, because you mentioned when we did the National League that it wasn't fair to count out the Braves. Now, no one here has said anything about the Braves. My thing about Atlanta is, to me, is I told you, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, is that my worry is that all the other teams improved in the division in some way. The Braves pretty much stood pat. I'm always wary of teams who do nothing in the offseason, no matter how good they are. So I think by default, the Braves are going to be in it. By default, I have them finishing fourth, but they're going to be in it. Alex, why don't you think none of us have mentioned the Braves?
I just think they don't have enough right now.
Okay.
Their lineup, they're going to be contending till late in the season, like last week of the season. I just don't think that they have enough. Any major injury to a guy like Chipper or Hayward or one of their strongholds in that lineup is going to just, or even in their rotation, if Tim Hudson goes down, that team is definitely,
Thomas,
Jared Jurgens.
Jared, yep.
If one of those guys goes down to an injury, the whole team is really in a lot of
Okay,
trouble.
we gotta move on to our LCS predictions here, right? Or we're gonna do our play. No, go ahead, Ben, real quick.
The reason I'm not picking Atlanta or Washington or the Marlins to win the wild card is Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Chicago Cubs, Houston Astros, San Diego Padres, and Colorado Rockies. All teams that my wild card teams are going to beat up on all season long. If the East wasn't so strong, these teams would be much more likely to make the wild card.
Okay, and let me mention real quick that we will post these picks up on our Facebook page, right, and our YouTubes. And if you feel free, if you want to contribute your ideas and your picks, feel free to post them too.